All right, so I am talking to you from the basement studio here. Today we discussed dimensional analysis with exponents and dual dimensional analysis. And I was saying if you wanted your house to look like something out of the movie Parasite and you wanted this nice tile on your walls, and you measure your walls and your floors and you find out you need 560 square feet of the tile, but when you call the place in Italy, it only sells tile in meters squared, not feet squared. So keeping in mind, the reason why your feet squared is, right, you would measure this by feet. So let's say that's like 10 feet. And then you would measure this. And let's say that's another, 12 feet. And 10 by 12 is 120 feet. So you need 120 square feet of tile right there. So feet squared. So what you know is 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. But how is that going to help you? Well, think of it as 560 feet squared is like multiplying feet twice, right? It's like 560, right? Feet and then feet again. So if you're going to cancel each one of those using the method we've been doing, 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. So if you do that once, it takes care of one of those feet. And if you do that a second time, it takes care of the other one. So basically, you need to multiply twice 1 meter over 3.28 feet to knock those out. And then what you get is multiply the tops. 560 times 1 is 560. The meters has now been multiplied twice, so it's meters squared. And then the denominator, 3.28 feet times, well, feet's gone. So 3.28 times 3.28 is 10.7584, giving us a grand total of 52.1 meters squared. When you divide 560 by 10.7584, you get 52.1 meters squared. And that is meters, right? So now you know how many meters by how many meters you need, and you can order the tile from Italy. So what you may realize is, so that still works the way we've been doing it with the dominoes. However, what that basically did was square the equivalent 1 meter equals 3.28 feet. If this doesn't make as much sense to you and this makes more sense to you, that's fine. This actually makes more sense to me than the squaring thing. But it still works. If you square 1 meter over 3.28, that means you multiply 1 meter over 3.28 times 1 meter over 3.28, which is what we just did here. So you get the same answer. It's just another way to do it. So let's take a look at this. If you have to convert 784 centimeters cubed to kilometers cubed, you start with the given, right? So we have our 784 centimeters cubed. And the relationship we know is that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, right? So this is what we know. And we also know that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. But because this is cubed, right? Because everything in this question is being cubed, then we have to do it 3 times. So centimeters cubed, you can either take 1 meter over 100 centimeters, cube the whole function, or lack of a better term, right? So that's what you're doing there, is basically doing multiplying 3 times 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter over 100 centimeters, right? That's what 100 centimeters, 1 meter over 100 centimeters cubed is you're just multiplying that 3 times. So you can either multiply that 3 times like this and take care of each one of these centimeters with each one of those, or you can cube the whole expression. Either way works. And then you do the same with 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters, right? So you can just do it again, right? So that's the same as saying 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters, 1,000 meters, and each of those is going to take out one of these. And then on the top, you're going to have your 1 kilometer each time to get kilometers cubed. Shouldn't be cubed. All right. So that's how you get that. All right. So when you do that, 784 times 1 times 1 and then 100 to the third power. Remember, when you raise a power of 10 to an exponent, so if you have 10 squared, which is what 100 is, raised to the third power, you multiply those exponents, so that's 10 to the sixth. And if you have 10 to the third, which is what 1,000 is, to the third power, that's 3 times 3, 10 to the ninth. And then when you multiply 10 to the sixth times 10 to the ninth, that equals 10 to the negative 15. And then when you do all that, 784 divided by 10 to the 15th, or bring it up, is 10 to the minus 15. You get 7.84 times 10 to the minus 13 as your answer. There it is in a messy way. But there, now it's not as messy. Look at that. All right. Probably did that better in school today, but we're going to keep going anyway. So now sometimes you have to convert things that are both the top and the bottom. So here we have miles per hour, and we got to go to meters per second. So you know the relationship between meters and miles and hours and seconds. So we're going to start with our miles per hour, 65 miles in 1 hour. And basically you choose which one of these you want to get rid of first. So I've chosen to get rid of miles first. So I've put miles in the denominator. That gets rid of miles, and there's 1609 meters in 1 mile. So now, as needed in my answer, the answer needs to be meters per second. I have meters on top, so I'm in good shape. Then we want to get rid of our hour, right? So I want to go opposite the hour. It used to be you always went down, but now you have to go opposite. So opposite is going to be on the top. And for every hour, there's 3,600 seconds. We're going to put that in the bottom. So now in the bottom, we have seconds, right? And in the top, we have meters. And so meters per second is what our units are as an answer. So you multiply 65 times 1609 times 1, and you get 104,585. 1 times 1 times 3,600 is 3,600. And then you divide those, and you get 29 meters per second. So it still works the way we've been doing it. You need to cancel by going opposite. But because this is sort of a two-stage one, you want to have the hour cancel by going opposite on the top instead of what we've been doing up till now, where we always put something on the bottom to cancel. I hope that makes sense. And then I made the sample problem, which turns out to not be like any of these things. So that's what I know. As long as you paid for this video, I might as well keep talking. So you're selling lemonade. It's 75 cents a glass. So that is 75, 0.75 equals 1 glass. And then a container provides 28 quarts. So 1 container equals 28 quarts. And then how much profit do you get from 1 container? So remember, the how tells you both what you're looking for, profit, so we're looking for money, and then what to start with. The how statement will tell you what to start with. And so 1 container is where we start. And each glass has 6 ounces in it. So 1 glass also has 6 ounces, which I need a new color. Yes, I do. 6 ounces. And then I also tell you down here that 32 ounces equals 1 quart. So container is here. The one thing we have with container is this one. So for every 1 container, there's 28 quarts. And then that gets rid of containers. We got to get rid of quarts. So here's our quarts. 1 quart is 32 ounces. And then I now have ounces. Here's ounces. So I'm going to want to put 6 ounces at the bottom so those cancel. And then that's for 1 glass. And now I want to cancel glass. And I'm going to use this one right here. That 1 glass is 75 cents. Let's get rid of glass. So you multiply the tops and divide by the bottoms, and if I recall, it was $112. I might be wrong. I should probably check since this goes out on the World Wide Web. But 28 times 32 times 0.75 divided by 6. It's $112. Look at that. That I can remember. I can't remember the word for expression, but I can remember what the answer was. Okay. Hope that's helpful. Have a lovely evening.